Yeah, I didn't get any notification, but I don't think I would get a notification.
Well, usually I get one. I'm like,
Yeah, you have not?
what says watch the Hake report live now, but it's still not popping up. I got it.
Hmm.
But there it goes.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. So you guys might have gotten a little extra drama just now, but maybe not.
What the heck? the Hake report theme song is not clicking.
Oh my gosh, all kinds of technical difficulties.
I'm just going to play a bumper.
Maybe no, what we'll have to do is you and I are going to have to a cappella the Hake Report theme song.
Okay.
Turn on your mic.
Start the beat.
Okay. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. And then we have the break. So, good morning, guys. This is the Hake Report, and we will be talking about crazy eyes and deceivers. And I've been accused of having crazy eyes. That was my nickname. And I looked up online, and it was like a lot of like women being crazy eyes, which such as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So hope you like it. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
We suck.
We do it. Speak for yourself. Joel said we suck. But this is the Hake Report. You can call in at 888-775-3773, and I'm going to find my video so that I can follow along with you guys' wonderful compliments for our a cappella version of the Hake Report. So what I wanted to talk about today was we have a lot of crazy things happening, and a lot of people are waking up. A lot of people are hashtag walk away. I can't say hashtag walking away because that's the wrong hashtag. And I wanted to speak on that because there's some walk away people who have called into Jesse's show, and I linked one of the guy's walk away stories in the description. This guy named Samo. He called into Jesse's show. He's a mixed race guy, handicapped. He called himself disabled. And then we were like, should it be disabled or handicapped? Jesse and he were talking. And so he was a guy who he was tended to be liberal, but then like he saw this coercion towards you got to be anti-Trump. You got to hate Trump. He's so evil. And it seemed ridiculous to him. He doesn't like that feeling of being coerced. He noticed that the far left, the fringe left, as he's called it, was trying to control people. And so it seems dim over here for some reason, but it's all right. On the screen, it looks great, though. So he didn't like that sense. And he just kind of took a look at Hillary. He's an intellectual guy, and he just started doing a deep dive, as he called it, into Hillary's corruption. And then he looked at Trump, and yes, he had some failed businesses, and he said some misogynistic things in his words, and he said, yeah, misogyny is terrible. But he really wants to, protect our borders and build up the economy, and that's what it's about. Whereas Hillary, he sees her as willing to sell out the country for her own self. So that was his wake-up thing, and he had a friend threatened to ditch him just because he as he was getting red-pilled, as they call it, he got quiet on politics, which is only appropriate. Once you realize that you don't know and you're learning and you're and all of that, you tend to be quiet. And even like the Bible says, a man should live a quiet life. And I was talking with I was interviewed actually by somebody named Toshon, and he has a new program called Truth, Values, and Character show, and we were talking about this. I think oh no, it wasn't with him. I was talking to somebody else, but we were talking about how actually, like, even Jesse, as much as he talks on air, his life, the life that he leads, it's a quiet life. And yes, he will wish people Happy White History Month anywhere he goes. And yes, he doesn't back down from, he's willing to confront, but basically he leads a quiet life. He doesn't gossip. He doesn't get into drama with people, like unnecessary drama. And that's what the Bible says to do, is like lead a quiet life. And so this guy got quiet, and this friend started getting offended by him not being all anti-Trump and Trump is the worst and all that stuff. So the friend threatened to be like, we're done. And so this guy is like, oh, that really sucks. I really liked. He didn't even say the word sucks, so I apologize for using it. But he was like, oh man, it's disappointing. I really liked being friends with you, but all right, have a good life. And the friend's like, oh no. And that's like, I like that attitude that this guy had, because when I lost my friends, some of them I got mad at them. Some of them I was like, oh, I don't want to lose another friendship and stuff like that. And like I overreacted, and I got mad at them for being mad at me or whatever. And this guy's attitude was so much better, because it caused the friend to second guess himself, rather than him being the one be like, oh, I'm sorry, I love Hillary, I was just kidding, or anything like that. Or even just being like, what? Just because you disagree, you can't be friends? He didn't act like that. He said, oh man, that's disappointing. And that's so nice to be able to have like not trying to control other people. And isn't that nice? Because he didn't become what he didn't like. He disliked people trying to control him, but he didn't try to control his friend back. And that's really nice. So speaking of control, I wanted to talk about like communist control of Alexandria Juan Antonio Cortez. No, is Ocasio-Cortez. And I have like the worst pictures of her because they're funny to me. And I can kind of relate to her because I have been called crazy eyes. I do get this wild-eyed look. Jesse worries about me, like he doesn't want me to lose my mind because I get these wild eyes sometimes, and all of those things. But she's a little wild, and she's a deceiver. She's acting like grew up. It's like me trying to say I grew up in El Monte. Yes, I did go to school in El Monte. It's this place that if you're in Southern California, if you're in the San Gabriel Valley specifically, you know about El Monte. Joel knows about El Monte and me, and probably that's it out of all my regular viewers, and maybe my family, of course. But I grew up going to school in El Monte, and El Monte is known to be Mexican and lower middle class Asian and all of that. And it's like me trying to be that, but I actually grew up in Temple City, which was like middle to upper middle class or whatever. I don't even know the classes. I don't like those terms, to be honest. I think those are communist terms. I just don't like them anyways. I'm not even sure that they're communist, but I think they are, but I don't care about that stuff. But it's like me trying to get credibility with having a rougher life of living in El Monte. And so this is what she did. She was like, I'm a Brooklyn girl. I grew up in Brooklyn. Or what is she? The Bronx. Anyways, she moved to like a better location to go to a better school, the Daily Mail found out. And she basically like tried to make it so that she identified with the common man, which she may well do a little bit. But she is a brainwashed communist. Her mother, I think, came from Puerto Rico, and her father was probably born and raised in the Bronx. But his father apparently is a beta male. I'll tell you why. Look at her last name. His last name, I believe, is Ocasio. Or maybe his last name is Cortez. I forget. I looked it up just this morning. And then the mother's last name, she became a hyphenated last name, and the kids became hyphenated last names. Meaning, one was Ocasio, the other one was Cortez. The husband stayed the same, the wife became Ocasio-Cortez, and all the kids became Ocasio-Cortez. Beta! That's like, I mean, it is like kind of new school. A lot of people fall into it, and they don't realize that they're being beta about it. And It is slightly sad, I guess, because she did lose her father in like 2008 or so. Or maybe, I don't know. She was 12, I guess. That's not 2008 because she's 28 now. But maybe when she was 12 or 18, she lost her father to like cancer or something like that. So her father is dead. So it's a shame that I'm calling a dead man a beta male. So shame on me, I guess. But it's kind of the truth, man. You look at her, how she was raised. She has an older brother who looks a lot more ethnic than she does, by the way. But tall, skinny guy, really like defined Hispanic-looking face. But anyways, she is a socialist, and I have like show like those words. There's some words about her. She is her platform includes abolishing ICE, an assault weapons ban, universal guaranteed employment, and a $15 minimum wage, and Medicare for all. She is a member of the Democratic Socialists of America and was endorsed by the group. And she appeared with, thank you, she appeared with Bernie Sanders recently. And I think she said something along the lines of, we're going to turn Kansas red. And red means Republican, but in her mind, red means communist or socialist. So she was thinking blue for Democrat, but she said red for communist. At least that's what I think. Thank you, Joel. Very appropriate. Wah, wah. So she's very nuts. And speaking of other young, clueless people, this guy, David Hogg, was interviewed by an up-and-coming YouTuber guy from around here. His name is slightly offensive. His real name is, well, I have it right here, Elijah Schaffer. And this was taped and edited by Folklore Americana, the same people who did some of Jesse's Man on the Street interviews, recent ones. And he interviewed a girl from Black Lives Matter in Los Angeles, who I would like to get on the show, by the way, and a black guy from somewhere, and then David Hogg from the... David Hogg is the guy who was... Oh, I should tell you some background on Ocasio-Cortez, just so you know, because if you're clueless about the things, I'll have to tell you. But David Hogg is the most vocal guy who became an anti-Second Amendment activist, very pro-gun control, very radical, very much cussing and being nasty. His father was an FBI agent, and you saw how corrupt some of the FBI agents have been. I think his father was an FBI agent at one point. But he became very anti-gun after the Florida shooting. There was a school shooting in Florida by this kid with like a Hispanic last name, white Hispanic kid. Actually, he wasn't a kid. He was 19, I believe. And so this young man went to a high school that he had a problem with and shot up a bunch of people. And it's disputed whether this guy, David Hogg, who they call a survivor of the mass shooting, it's disputed whether he was even anywhere around. He may have been, but it's really a moot point because he's standing for evil regardless. He's standing for what's wrong. He's a fast talker. So I was watching this interview, and I have the link in the description. You can check it out later. He and his handler shows up and says, that's enough. Because Elijah Schaffer, this guy who goes by slightly offensive on YouTube, he asks questions among all these people, and they start to get slightly offended. I didn't even mean to do that, but they did get a little offended. And at one point, David Hogg, he's asking normal questions too, like, what do you want? Do you think that we should get rid of semi-automatic, the rifle things that shoot far? And David is talking all fast, David Hogg, who's, by the way, I think he's 17 or 18 years old. And he has been nasty on Twitter, and he has been nasty about adults, about you know, not his parents, but the parents' generation, older generations, cussing up a storm, just being like a disgusting person. You can tell like he's an angry person who's into himself and into he's on an ego trip because he's getting all this attention. And he's like a talented kind of like actor guy. He can think fast and talk fast. And he has a okay camera presence, so he gets in front of the camera. And at the very beginning, I saw this thing from this Vietnam vet. He said, Hogg, this guy, Ray Milligan, who's in my live chat, Hogg loves the spotlight. He called old people stupid, and that's true. And this coming from a little boy who has not even lived. Crime has never come his way, so he has a lot of easy answers. And he said, from this old Vietnam vet. And you're right, Ray. This guy he is a know-it-all. And it's a shame that you'll notice that all of the radical movements are led by young people because they think they know it all. They're arrogant, and their egos are fed by basically, really, by the older people, the communists, you know, the teachers, because most teachers are liberal, by the liberal media, by the social media, the people who are controlling the social media, because social media is controlled to an extent. Those people were brainwashed and raised up in liberalism because they're college-educated people who are very talented, or they're able to work in a corporate environment and get by well, and they are very anti-conservative. They think conservatism is hate speech, and we think liberalism is hate speech because it is very hateful. And many conservatives are hateful too, but these people are totally brainwashed. So, by the way, you can call in 888-775-3773. 888-775-3773. So let me set the stage a little bit more on this David Hogg guy. He was being interviewed by this white guy, Kyle. No, not Kyle. I keep on wanting to say Kyle. It's Elijah Schaefer, slightly offensive. And he asks him, hey, just to clear the air, were you at the school? Because there's these people who are saying that he was not at the school. And so he says, I go to that school. And he gave like a kind of an unclear answer, acting like he was being clear. And then this older guy says, that's enough. Who are you? Where are you from? And all that. Kicks Elijah out. And Elijah is pretty objective. He does lean conservative. He does see through like the BS, which is bogus speech, according to one of our guest hosts. He does see through all the bogus speech of these people that are pushing this anti-gun thing, this March for Our Lives. It's just a trend. It's a very trendy thing, and I say it's just a trend in that they make no valid point. They're not for what's good. And I'm not saying that it's going to go away because it doesn't. Like, evil keeps on pushing, and we have to keep on pushing back. But you'll just notice that these people are bogus speech people. And so this guy sees through that, and he's just being very fair with all of his questions, including the question about, were you at the school? And he gets kicked out. He gets forced out. They just act very aggressive towards him. And so that's that. You'll notice that, and my friend, I meant to screenshot this. A friend of mine, a liberal professor guy, I call him a friend. I don't know if he's a friend. And I will get to your calls. He retweeted something and tagged me on it. And it was a tweet from David Hogg saying, I can smell fear. Well, I can sense fear in what they did to Slightly Offensive there. That was fear. And you'll notice that these people duck real interviews with Jesse. It's tough to get it's tough for us to get liberals on the show oftentimes, especially with ones who are who have a big platform. They have a lot to lose. They tend to duck interviews with Jesse. Only the really like ones who really like to engage, like there was a guy who came on, John Fugelsang. He really enjoyed talking with Jesse, and he's like a radical. He thinks he's a Christian, I think, but he's one guy who really enjoys real dialogue, and because I guess he's sincerely self-deceived or something. But there are different people, and there are different types of liberals. There's the ones that are willing to engage, and there's the ones like this who are fake, totally fake. So, last thing, I want to explain who Ocasio-Cortez is, if you don't already know. Most of you probably do. So, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is someone who primaried out a long-standing Democrat out of New York. She's running for Congress. And so we have an avowed another socialist young person of color running for Congress. So that's that. She's getting a lot of attention because she's an interesting person. And she's a pretty girl, even though she has those crazy eyes. Pretty evil. And so I think that people do see her as a threat because she could be another Obama. But I think the times have changed a little bit, and she is a little more of a loose cannon than Obama was. Obama was a little bit smarter about shutting his mouth. So I don't know, but she may well win because there are a lot of liberals who are really stupid and brainwashed and support evil. But there are a lot of people waking up and walking away. So take heart and keep fighting. Anyway, let me get to my caller. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from? Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Russ from Hampton, Virginia.
Hey, Russ. Good to hear from you again.
Yeah, I've talked to you before. Wow, when I call, you put me on hold or whatever, and I hear the steps that you say, it clouds my mind of what I actually wanted to call you.
Well, go wade through the stuff that you want to address that I said, and then you can maybe get to the thing that you called about originally.
Well,
what you think? What you think about Ocasio-Cortez and David Hogg?
You know, on a broader sense, I think that it's kind of funny that people that disagree with your opinion are all wrong. It's like you don't want to give people their right to feel how they want to feel and accept that, or you know, it's like if they disagree with you, then they're wrong and their mind is messed up and all that. It's like, why is your opinion the only right opinion? Why is that? Why aren't you accepting other people's opinions and stuff?
I accept that they're stupid. I mean, you have to get more specific because
that's not funny.
It is funny.
No, it's not. You said that you accept that they're stupid. Why aren't you stupid?
I'm pretty stupid too. But on some of these issues, they're more stupid. They're stupider.
Okay, but why? But why are you? Why are your views right and everybody else is wrong?
Not everybody else is wrong.
I've talked to Jesse. I've talked to Jesse Lee Peterson.
Right.
And it seems like that you're in his camp, as that you believe in what he says.
Yeah.
And I personally think that people that just
it's not that I believe in what he says. It's that what he says rings true.
So he says that he's going to live in his body forever, and that rings true to you?
Sure. I mean, none of us want to die, and we weren't supposed to die, and all that. Why not? And like that's it. This is really
wait,
this whole I'm not dying thing. It's kind of irrelevant to my life because I'd rather I don't want to die. And so, like, it's great if Jesse doesn't die, but I'm more concerned about my own life and my impending death if I don't clean up my act. But that's really fine, like an irrelevant thing. Like we're talking about.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is because we're talking about politics and we're talking about spirituality, and that's his life. That doesn't have to do with us.
But here's the thing: you have to evaluate what someone says to whether they are a relevant source of information or not. So, you're listening to Jesse Lee Peterson and believing what he says. And if I have somebody that tells me he's not going to die, even though everybody else on this planet, from the existence of this planet and life, has died, he's not going to. That tells me this guy there's something wrong with his thought process. So I'm not going to believe
as
what he
Napoleon
said.
Dynamite said, like anybody could even know that. You don't know that everybody's died. That's ridiculous. Well, I don't know if Napoleon said it.
Wait. First of all, you just quoted a movie. That's first of all, and that's ridiculous. Number two.
Wait, what's ridiculous is you saying relevant source of information. The word is not relevant source of information. If my white side can come out, the word is maybe believable source of information. I don't know, but it's not relevant because Jesse's very relevant. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to him.
I listen to him because it's ridiculous. And why do you have to bring color into it?
Because white people tend to be like overcorrecting. Like we have this thing where we correct people's grammar and word misuse, and blacks are pretty bad at misusing words. So when you say relevant source of information, I'm thinking that's not the right word. So that's my white side coming out.
Wait. The last time
am I allowed to use race?
You were allowed to do anything.
All right.
But the last time
so I am allowed to think these people are ridiculous and evil and brainwashed.
Can I speak?
Yeah. Go for it.
The last time I talked to Jesse, he chastised me because I spoke properly. I'm a proper black. He chastised
you for that?
Jesse.
Hold on. You said he chastised you for that?
Because I'm a proper
No.
black,
but you said that he chastised you.
Yes.
What did he say?
He accused me of trying to act white. He accused me of trying to pretend to be white, but that's a good thing. That I was a proper black just because I spoke the way I speak.
Well, it is White History Month, so you should be taking that as a compliment. I don't think he accused you. He's not a very accusatory person, especially when he says that you sound white. That's not an accusation.
You can't speak for him.
Well, yes, I can.
You're James, and you're not Jesse, so you can't speak for him.
Sure I am. Sure I can.
And white history is ridiculous. So.
Well, that's a lie. You're living here in America, and you're calling it ridiculous. You're ridiculous.
How are you able to say that that's ridiculous?
Because I say that's ridiculous. I think I learned the word from my mother.
What authority?
What authority? I mean,
you have
every human being is supposed to be able to discern the truth. So every person has the authority to say that. And
did you not grow up in the United States?
Yes, I did.
Okay. When you went to school, were you not taught about the white people that made contributions throughout history?
It wasn't pointed out that they were white.
It didn't have to be, but were they white?
Yes, they were. So thank you. It's not ridiculous.
No, it is ridiculous because there is no need to have a distinction of white history because that's what you were taught.
Well, obviously there is a need for it because people have been maligning whites and they have maligned and slandered Robert E. Lee and Christopher Columbus. They've said all kinds of horrible things about them, some of which is not even true, and they're painting Black Lives Matter. So there needs to be a white history education, particularly in the black community.
But that's not a need for White History Month.
Yes, it is.
That's your opinion.
Thank you.
And listen, I'm the first one to say that you have every right to have your opinion. But it seems like you people, and I don't say that as white people,
right?
Because I don't make a distinction between color. That's something that you do. I don't make a distinction with color.
Maybe you should
But
start.
you people seem to think that everybody should think like you, believe what you believe, live like you believe.
Wouldn't you want...
And that's not true.
Wait a minute. Wouldn't
right.
you want fellow human beings to believe the truth?
I want... Who's to say your truth is right? Who's to say that your truth is correct and correct?
That's not what I asked you.
You do. But that's what I'm telling you.
Wouldn't you want fellow human beings to believe the truth?
Isn't this country built on different religions, different ethnicities, different thoughts, different lifestyles?
Yeah, and that's why it's crumbling. Yeah, it's started to be built on those things, and that's why it's crumbling. Thank you. Now, wouldn't you want fellow human beings to believe the truth?
I want fellow human beings to have the right to believe what they believe. They have that right.
No, but don't you care? Don't you care about them believing the truth?
No, wait.
No. You didn't answer my. You never answered my question. You noticed that, right?
What's your question?
Wouldn't you want fellow human beings to believe the truth?
Whose truth?
The truth. The truth.
There is no concrete 100% truth. Just because you believe what you believe is truth doesn't make that truth. That's your opinion.
So is that a no? You would not want fellow human beings to believe the truth? Or is that a yes? You would want fellow human beings to believe the truth?
You want me to answer something in the way you want me to answer it, and that's not the correct answer.
It's a pretty simple yes or no question.
No, it's not.
Yes,
no,
it is.
It's not.
Yes, huh?
No, it's not.
Uh-huh.
No, it is not.
Yes.
That's what you want it to be because that makes real good radio and stuff. So
whatever.
That's not.
No, man.
It's a complicated question.
Okay. Do you recognize that Jesse tells the truth?
No. I think Jesse is a clown and a liar and an idiot and he's a hypocrite.
You're mean, man. That's very harsh.
Yeah, I'm not mean at all. I'm speaking the truth.
Oh, thank you. And wouldn't you want people to believe the truth?
That is my opinion. That's the way I see it.
Your opinion, man.
Wait. But here's the difference. Here's the difference between you and me.
All right.
That's my opinion. That's how I size it up from what I see. You disagree with that, and that's fine for me.
All right.
You don't agree with me, and that's fine. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's your right to feel how you feel. Everybody has a right to feel how they feel. There is no absolute truth. Is killing wrong?
That's an absolute statement. You can't say that.
No, I'm asking you a question. Is killing wrong?
This is just like when he said, Joel, remember when he said, everybody in human history has always died. This is like an impossible to know statement. And now he's saying, there is no absolute truth. Then that's a fact. That's crazy, man. Say something. Help him, Joel.
Wait. Are you saying that? Wait. Are you saying that someone has lived forever? Is that what you're trying to say?
Sure. Why not? It's in the Bible. It's a fact. And I have a caller who may want to talk with you.
Wait.
Joel, do you want to talk to him?
Even
Okay.
Jesse Lee Peterson
Joel's done with
said that the Bible is wrong. You can't use the Bible if it's not truly factual. And even Jesse says that it is wrong.
No. He says it's wrong on some points, particularly in the way that people translate it. He's not saying that, oh, you can't believe anything from the Bible. Obviously, the Bible speaks to the truth, and that's why he reads it and he recommends other people read it. He's never said, don't read the Bible, it's wrong.
So if a Scientology person came to you and said, yes, this is what I believe because it's in Dianetics, the book that we believe in, you would say that's ridiculous because it's just a book.
Maybe. But there's probably some true statements over there.
There you go.
You think you made a point?
Please don't put Joel on the phone.
No. He doesn't want to talk to you.
Every time I talk to you guys, you
no
put him
offense.
on the phone.
No offense. He just doesn't want to talk to you either. But let me put another caller on. Caller, do you want to talk to this man?
Oh Lord, here we go.
Caller, are you there?
Yeah.
Hey, would you like to speak with Russ?
Yeah, why not?
All right. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Juan.
Hey, Juan.
From New York.
Good to hear from you, Juan.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you too.
Nice.
Yeah, that dude, the dude who's talking, I don't know if he's just trying to ignore like certain facts. Like, I don't know if he, like was raised in a black community or where he was raised, but you gotta be like blind, or you gotta just be ignoring what's going on out here. You know, if you you wanna like white people being proper and all, like this is known.
Yeah.
And this is a good quality. And then it's just like with black people being hood and we a little rowdy. Like this is known, but people try to, pretend like this, like it don't exist or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's even with the Democrats and the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can clearly see, like Whoopi Goldberg went off on what's the lady, the judge?
Judge Jeanine Pirro on The View.
Yeah. Yeah, you see how Whoopi Goldberg, she claims she's not delusional. She claimed that she's not going off, but then you go off on the lady. Like, you claim you can have a conversation and you can be logical, but you're screaming and hollering when people bringing up things that's I guess offending you, or I'm for everything that's offensive.
Mm-hmm. And explain why. Explain why you're for everything that's offensive.
Because I'm for freedom of speech. I'm for people to have freedom, and I don't like when people go around trying to put rules on other people.
Yep.
I don't feel like it's racist for white people to want to conserve being white and their whole culture.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I don't feel like it's racist if Indians want to do it, if blacks do. Chinese people got a whole Chinatown out here in New York where you can't if you're American, you can't understand nothing that's going on there. So you can't even really buy nothing because you can't even see the prices. So like it's not. Say it again.
He's chuckling.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah. Russ, before you respond, this is a perfect call for you because you're very intellectual, and like I'm playing with you maybe a little bit too much, but Juan is a very simple, straightforward, truth-telling man who's just telling you clearly and plainly and humbly. So if you don't get it, you're not going to get it. But go ahead.
I just want to ask a question. What he's saying have anything to do with what I said?
Okay. I'll explain. I'll explain, and then I'll let Juan explain. One thing was you acted like Jesse was accusing you of trying to act white when he said you sound white, maybe, or he said something along. He probably said something along those lines. And
wait.
And Juan, hold on. And Juan pointed out this is just a known fact. White people tend to be more proper, exceptions to the rule, and blacks tend to be less proper, exceptions to the rule. And he said, why is this a controversial opinion for Jesse to point that out? And then he pointed out that the black community has major problems, among other things, and the country has major problems, and the Democrats and the Republicans, and how crazy the Democrats have become, particularly in the age of Trump. And this stuff is undeniable. No. I want Juan to respond to what this has to what you said about. No.
Hold on.
I'm gonna make you hold because you got to follow the rules here. This is a white world, and you got to follow the rules. So Juan,
see what I'm saying?
So Juan,
it's a white world.
Hold on, I'm gonna put you on hold if you don't be quiet for Juan. Okay, go ahead, Juan.
Listen, listen. All I'm saying is, man, it's certain things that we can see clearly out here. But let me hear what he got to say. Let me hear what he's trying to say.
Okay. Go ahead, Russ. Russ,
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
You have somebody that's coming on the radio that's forming an opinion that did not hear conversation. And I understand that you are his producer and you hear certain things, but I'm sure that Jesse has thousands of people to call him every day. So when you insinuate that certain things were said or certain things were intended or there was the intent or something, you don't know what the conversation was.
Actually,
I was told, wait.
All right.
I was told that I was an uppity black. I was pretending to be white. I was doing this, I was doing that, and all I was doing was speaking to him.
Right.
He didn't say it because of the content of what I was saying. He said it by the sound of my voice.
Right.
That's all.
Because
I can't I can't change my voice. I speak how
I know.
how I speak.
Yeah.
I sound how I sound.
Yeah, I think you taking
So,
that a
so
little.
I understand. Wait.
No, he's about to tell you something real, Russ. Let him say this, because I know what he's about
Russ,
to say.
I think you just you being a little dramatic about that. And you know, sometimes Jesse joke around. I think he was probably joking with you. I think he was probably trying to say that you are more. You sound like more of like a black careerist type of person. Like you sound liberal. Like you sound like you do sound like an uply black guy, but it's not like an insult. I thought maybe he was just joking with you. I think you're taking that part a little too seriously.
Yeah, and the reason that you remember it and I don't, and I did hear the conversation, I just don't remember it that well, is because you remember it because you resented it, and so you played it over in your mind, and where I just laughed it off, but I don't think any less or more of Russ because of this, but you clung on to it, and as Joel points out, those matters are petty.
How are you qualified to tell me how I feel about it? You telling me I resented something? How are you qualified to tell me how I felt about something? You don't know me.
Can I ask you a question, Russ?
See, and that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. You want to tell me how I feel. You want to tell me stuff about me that you don't even know me.
Well, you remembered it, so it must have hurt you.
I remembered it because I'm a regular guy and I don't talk to people on the radio all the time.
Makes sense. All
so
right.
that's why I remembered it. It's not because listen.
All right, all right. If you didn't resent it, fine. I apologize. I was wrong. Let Juan wanted to say something.
I wanted to ask him some questions. I wanted to get to know him.
Okay.
Russ, are you a Democrat? Russ?
I vote according to the candidate. I don't vote on party lines, so it depends on who the candidates are.
Who was the last person you voted for? Did you vote last year?
I voted. What difference does that make?
This is how white people get. You ever seen this Chappelle skit? They're like,
why
what'd you vote for? Oh, no, I don't talk about who I voted for.
Wait. Wait. Why do you have to bring up race all the time?
Because race is funny, man.
It's not.
Yeah, it is funny.
Wasn't funny. No, it's not. It's not funny.
I think you're being real dramatic.
Yeah, man. I'm not being
dramatic. I don't have to tell all of my business. I'm an older guy, and
okay,
I act the way
one
I
more.
act, I think the way I think, and I don't have to tell everybody.
Well, let me tell you something. Can I tell them something about me?
Go for it.
Because I'll tell you.
We got to finish this.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Listen, man. I used to be a Democrat. I voted for Obama, and I see what he didn't do for me. You know, I was expecting things from him, and it didn't happen. You know, but
here's the thing.
Hold on, let him finish. Hold on, Russ.
But listen, let me tell you something. I ain't know nothing about Trump until everybody else was hobbling about him. I'm like, why everybody hate this dude? I don't know this dude. And then I see everybody hate this dude. But what he's doing, it look like he's trying to help brothers out. It look like he's trying to help everybody out. Yeah. It's at the same time he's trying to serve his people. He's trying to look out for his people too. Of course, he's gonna look out for his people too.
Hold on 1 second. James.
Yes.
I'm going to be quiet and let him say everything he has to say. Can I just have 30 seconds after he finishes to say something?
Man.
Say what you have to say now. Go ahead, say
You're so demanding. Finish up your last statement, Russ, because I got to go.
Okay, I understand it. That's why I want to say it. Listen.
Yeah, go for it.
Listen, I'm not a Trump guy, okay? And the reason why I'm not a Trump guy is because I don't think that it's smart to have someone that has no experience in an area to run the country. Now, that being said, Trump was put into office. I'm going to withhold any type of opinion about Trump until his presidency is over. At that time, then I can say, okay, well, he did this, he promised this, he didn't come through with this, but he did come through with this. So what I'm saying is, I'm not going to sing his praises now. I'm going to wait until he finishes his term, and then I'll make an opinion about him.
Wait.
Let me finish. My only
more than 30
opposition with him was because he had no experience in the field, and that's it.
All right.
Listen, Obama didn't have much experience, and let me tell you something, man. I'd rather Trump with his no experience than a bunch of robots.
Thank you.
Because it seemed like everybody else is robots, and one thing I can tell about Trump is that he ain't a robot.
Yep.
He a man who's gonna make his own, decisions. And I like that. I respect that.
Me too. Thank you, Russ.
All right.
All right. Take care. Very good call. Thank you, sir. So, Juan, appreciate you calling in.
Yeah. It was good to hear from you, man.
Yeah. All right, we got your video out finally. Your call with me. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I don't know if I got to I pressed the notification on your channel, but it's like the YouTube be keeping them from popping up on my
and you know what else? Funny. Like I might have uploaded that one to Jesse Lee Peterson channel. So make sure that you're subscribed to all 3 of his channels, including Bond Rebuilding the Man, which is going to be Church Live with Jesse Lee Peterson at 11 Pacific. Anyway, any last thing you wanted to say?
I wanted to say, man, black people, we gotta wake up. I'm speaking, toward black people because I'm black. Man, we gotta wake up, man, and stop glorifying all this violence. And I don't see how we gonna go at other people if we ain't taking a look at ourselves. We out here chopping people's heads off and not looking at our brothers and sisters. I mean, we becoming criminals, y'all. Like, we out here just, becoming monsters, man. I feel like we all need to stop and, just take a look at ourselves for a second. That's just what I want to say to black people.
Yeah, man. That's good advice for everybody, but I mean, especially blacks, and they're in a mindset where they're basically trained to look outside, look at whites and what whites have done, and it's not helping them. They've only gotten worse. Yes, their education level has gone up, their socioeconomic status has gone up, but it's all ill-gotten gain, and it's not good for them because their spirits are worse off than maybe ever in the history of the country.
And I never believed in that spiritual stuff until these times. Now I'm seeing what's going on. Because like I said, I voted for Obama. I was out here in the streets doing the same thing. Like, I'm just waking up to what's going on. And, now that I'm learning more about my history, I'm seeing I got history going. Listen, I used to think Jesus was a black, big-headed scientist, and I used to think that all white people was devils born with tails. Like, I used to really believe in that stuff until I really started looking at real life, and I'm like, well, this ain't right. This don't add up here. I started really looking into the stuff because I believed it. And, now I'm looking into it. I'm like, all that people living underground and, all this crazy stuff, it's all conspiracies. And they trying to make us believe in alien and all this crazy stuff. Yeah. It's like they have an agenda now. Even with the music, I don't know if you see all the satanic shit in the music. Right.
There is a lot. There's a lot of, I mean, it's both in your face and it's underneath the surface. You had a problem with dealing with your family and your friends. Like, you, in some cases, you kind of feared for it sounded like you were almost fearing for your physical safety. How are you doing with your family, your friends, and speaking the truth?
It's the same thing, but I believe it or not, I grow stronger. It's like anytime I have if I come in contact with somebody and it's a difference of opinion and they feel offended and they attack me, it's making me stronger, because I'm standing my ground more now. I'm having a conversation. Even when I go around my mother and my mother know how I am, when it comes to this political and this, all this stuff. So she quick to say, that's that crazy Trump doing your boy, or just say something like that, because she know I want to say something. And I'm like, but you know what? Now they see it. Now I'm not scared to say anything now. And I'm listening to what Jesse's saying. And it's making me stronger. I do still feel surrounded, because I live in the hood, so it's way different. It ain't just a difference of opinion. It's a nigga, get out of here with that, or it's gonna be problems difference of opinion type, mentality. So I can't even have these conversations, let alone letting people like around where I live know that I'm not liberal or Democrat. You know, they'll really take offense to that.
Yeah. It's a shame that blacks are so violent and like closed off to reality. Are you able to get out of there?
Listen, I believe it or not, I'm not even trying to run no more. Now I'm trying to face it. Now I'm trying to go to the danger. You know, that's what I'm feeling about it.
All right, but I mean, like I said, it's in some cases it's best to leave that area if you can.
No, listen to me. I ain't afraid no more.
You know, I know, but it's about being smart too. All right,
yeah, I know.
But I'm so glad that you're not afraid. That's good. And
forget all that, man. Because I'm gonna have, you know, everybody gonna have their different opinions.
Right.
And it's called freedom of speech, you know. And the only reason all this bad stuff going on is because good people don't do nothing, you know.
Right.
And
that's true.
I'm a good person. Yeah, I'm a good person. I'm gonna go ahead and be a good person and do what I got to do.
And you know, the way that you talk, the way that you dealt with Russ right there and everything, like, I don't see how anybody could become violent towards you because, yes, people do react violently, but I was talking with this guy, Toshon, and then I got to let you go to get to my other callers, but I was talking to this guy, Toshon. He was interviewing me from this show that I mentioned earlier, and I said that I think that the love that comes out of Jesse is kind of his protection. Because as angry as people get towards him, he's kind of protected. Like, you don't get, he doesn't push the issue with an evil, angry spirit. When it's done, it's done. He's like friends and buddies, even with with the people who are wrong, and even the people who are evil towards him. And it's like a form of protection, spiritual protection. Yeah. So I understand what you're saying. By the way, I
learned it from Jesse.
Right on. Are you doing? Jesse has that silent prayer. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, I try to do it when I can.
Right
I try to do it when I can.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes it makes me fall asleep.
Yeah. All right. Well, good to hear from you, Juan. I appreciate your call.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Tell Jesse I said what's up.
I will.
You know.
I will, dude. All right. Take care. Let me get to my other callers before we wrap up the show. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, James.
Hey, Maze. Good to hear from you.
I'm sure would like to have a conversation with Warren.
Yeah, I bet you would.
It's not like he like to give you kudos saying what you want to hear to make you happy.
Isn't he a great guy?
That. No. I wouldn't take him out to dinner, you know.
You would not?
I couldn't sit and listen to somebody saying, in order, I have a southern dialect.
Yeah.
So does Bush have one. Mm-hmm. And it's not about how white people speak and all of that. It's the southern dialect that you have. And he has a New York accent, but he's lost. And he's sitting here talking about a Democrat and a Republican and a liberal and he needs to love himself first. If you don't love yourself,
you don't think he does love himself?
And he don't tell the black community what they need to do. I feel sorry for him. I don't know who he's following. Because the conversation he had,
Yeah.
What kind of conversation is that?
It was a great conversation.
He needs to see the world and travel and learn people and different things, and even learn a different language.
That stuff is not really going to help you, though, man. Maze?
He's not here. He didn't help anybody. He don't tell the black community what they need to do.
Why not?
And who's helping who? What?
Why not, though?
If he was the one that had to tell
somebody got to tell him.
Indoctrinated.
Who's indoctrinated?
Warren.
What about the black? What about the black community? Hold up. What about the black community that he lives in? Are they indoctrinated? They're indoctrinated?
They are indoctrinated.
Thank you.
The white community is indoctrinated.
All right.
Some people in the black community are indoctrinated to say what they want to hear to make them happy.
Yep.
And someone wanted to give me a call if I called in. So let them on.
Oh, okay. All right. This may be.
And that guy out of Atlanta that called last Monday.
Is this the person who wanted to talk to Maze?
Yeah. Hey, Maze. It's Tim from Louisiana.
Make some sense when you're talking to me.
All right.
I wish you to.
Oh, Maze said something about something when you're talking to me.
Wait, what do you want me to do, Maze?
Make some sense when you're talking to me, because I don't say what you
yeah,
want to hear to make them happy. I tell them the truth so they can go on and carry it in their heart.
And since we're on the subject of love, do you love the Great White Hope?
Do I love who?
The Great
White Hope.
Ask me something that makes some sense. I love everybody. Do you love black people?
I love black people. Of course I do.
Well then, I love everybody. So now,
how about the Great White Hope specifically?
Ask me something that makes some sense.
Do you love white people, Maze?
I love everybody. I have Caucasians in my
One of
family,
those.
so I can't help but to love them. Now, what else you got?
Now, a lot of people who hate their own families, and this is a fact. In fact,
Well, I don't
probably
hate
most.
my family.
Good.
And I know my family. And y'all
Right
don't
on.
know y'all family. That's your problem.
All right.
Okay, now what else do you have to ask me?
Ask.
Past,
Ask.
present, and future. What else?
Maze, so seriously though, do you like what the Great White Hope is doing for the country?
I don't have a great
What are your
white
thoughts
hope.
on that?
I don't know who
Oh, the
great white
Oh,
hope.
Donald-
come on,
Donald J.
Maze.
Trump,
You
the
know who
president.
we're talking about.
Give me
the
the
president
person's
of the
name and I
United
can
States.
tell you.
President Trump.
President Trump.
Do
You're
I do
president.
what?
Do you like what he's doing for the country?
No, I don't.
Why?
Do I have to?
What don't you like about
Do I
it?
have to like it? Let me see. All the things that you hated that Obama did, and he twisted around and changed it.
Yeah. Good.
Are you happy about it? Your gas prices are going up. Are you happy about that?
I'm fine. I
Your
hardly
food
drive.
prices are going up. Are you happy about that?
I don't mind.
And your deficit is
Hey,
going up.
I
Are you happy
love
about
the
that?
fact that I'm taking home more money
So
every
now
week
you give me.
on my
You know the fact
paycheck.
that you're doing what?
Yep.
You know the fact that you're doing what?
I love the fact
That
that
I'll get
President
more
Trump
money back every week on my paycheck.
is not kissing up to blacks
about
and
a
women
paycheck?
and all that stuff, especially the
I
radical.
get. I love my businesses running just as great as it was before he stepped into office. So what does that got to do with anything?
Any
you
Hey, you gotta slow down.
any last
confused with
any
being
last question, Tim?
Yeah,
No,
right,
that's-
Tim.
that's
Next time,
it.
come with
All
something.
right,
It's
appreciate
National
it.
History Month.
Happy
It's
White
good. So
History
now, can I
Month.
say why I called, James?
Yeah. Thank you, Tim.
Stop following people. Stop being indoctrinated. Do some research. And if you were a criminal, you don't have nothing to say, but just clean up the mess that you made.
Thank you.
The guy that tells the black community, Warren, please
Juan.
don't try to go and have a conversation, with somebody with that. First of all, study the dictionary and find words to fill in, Then you can come back and have a conversation with somebody. And get off that tummy kick.
How about that?
Yeah, you can play what you want to, see, James. He said what you wanted to say to make you happy. I don't. I just tell you the truth.
All right.
Knowledge is power. When you know better, you do better.
Whatever.
And if you don't, you keep on, have a good day.
All right. Thank you, Mace. Take care. Last caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, James, this is Lucan calling out of Pomona. How you doing, man?
All right. Nice to hear from you. I was just thinking of you earlier, Lucan.
All right.
Good to
So,
hear from
wanted
you.
to actually point out a couple. Yeah, wanted to point out a couple of things from first off, the call with Russ.
Yeah.
He exposed a major flaw in the whole moral relativist thinking, because when they say that there's no such thing as absolute truth, right there you trapped yourself in a lie.
Right.
Because either there is no such thing as absolute truth, in which case you saying there's no such thing as absolute truth is also not the absolute truth,
Yep.
or there is such a thing as absolute truth and you just lied.
Yeah.
So either way, you just lied.
Yeah. And it's a shame because he's grown. He's a grown man older than you or I. Me.
Yeah,
you or
I mean,
me.
you would think it would be like college-age kids that would be caught in that trap, but like,
Right. Yeah, that's a
and
shame.
the other, all right. Go on.
Appreciate it. No, I was just saying that's a shame that he thinks that way.
Yeah, it really is. The other thing I wanted to mention was the whole. We were talking about. Crap, I think I actually kind of lost my train of thought on the second thing a little bit.
What you think of this? Men's Forum. I think not next week, but the following. I know that Pomona is a good distance, but if you can make it to Men's Forum, try to do it.
Depends on my work schedule.
Yeah. How's it going, by the way?
Yeah. Oh, that's actually going better now.
Good. It's good to hear, because it was getting pretty crazy for a while. Lucan is. Can I tell them where you came from and how you heard about us?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Lucan first heard Jesse, kind of like Esteban Ricarte, who used to co-host with me before I fired him. He heard about me on Stefan Molyneux interviewing Jesse. And Molyneux is like a very popular philosophy podcaster. And they both really resonated with the talk about forgiving your mother and getting past anger and just telling the truth and striking out and being independent. And so they both left, both Esteban and Lucan both left basically the East Coast, I want to say, maybe not quite the East Coast, but they left Philadelphia area and Connecticut area to come
Florida.
to the LA area. Oh yeah, Florida. Yeah, you were from Florida. I forgot. So they left the East Coast to come to LA and just live on their own and be independent. And they're guys in their 20s now and just living life and overcoming the issues. And so it's cool. And we don't get to see a lot of Lucan because he has a busy work schedule and he lives out in Pomona, which is about 40 minutes away from us, maybe more if with traffic, and even more if you're not just taking your own car. So anyway, it's good to hear from you. Can you remember what else you wanted to mention?
Crap, I still forgot it. So I'm gonna have to leave it to the next caller, or like if you're ran out of time because I see it's 10:02.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep you in. I don't remember.
Yeah, I got to wrap up. But what did you think of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and David Hogg?
Long story short, they're kind of insane and they don't really know what they're talking about. And it shows up more and more like whenever you actually question them on what they're saying.
True. Very good point. And that's why they don't like to do real interviews with real people like Jesse or Slightly Offensive or anybody else. So appreciate it, Lucan. You gonna catch church?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. And have you been doing Jesse's silent prayer?
On and off, not as much as I'd like.
All right. Yeah.
Get back into it more.
Yeah, that's how I am, and that's the reason that things are a mess. So I think we gotta get past that. All right. Appreciate you, Lucan. Take care.
All right, man.
All right, bye. Church in 1 hour. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/church. Make sure you subscribe to Bond Rebuilding the Man. It's at 11 a.m. Sunday, Pacific time, Los Angeles time, live. And then Eastern time, it would be 2 p.m. Eastern. All right, guys, take care.